and welcome to Connect Live. I'm Dawn Peters, and today we're very lucky we're going to be talking all about health and nutrition. It's all about how you can transform your health. And to do that, we have Carolyn Grafton. Hi, Carolyn, welcome.
Hi, Dawn. Happy to be here.
I'm very happy to have you. I'm fascinated with this whole topic and particularly your experience and knowledge on it. So perhaps we can start off. You tell us a little bit about how you're currently helping people transform their health.
Well, I work with some really dense nutrition, different products that are easy to take and delicious and will allow people in a very quick time to get good nutrition. So I say if you've got 90 seconds, you can go ahead and add some dense nutrition into your day and really change the trajectory of your life.
Absolutely. So maybe just before we go into the details of how people can do that and exactly, I know certain products you've got, tell us your story of how you got involved with this at this level.
Okay. Nutrition was not something I really thought about. My mom cooked all her own food because that's what people did back then. But by the time I was a young mom and I had, 2 little kids and a busy job, and what happened was I took care of my employer, I took care of my kids, I took care of my husband, and I kind of forgot about me. So, and I meet a lot of moms that are like this, which is why I'm so passionate about sharing it, because I'd like them not to fall in the hole that I did.
Right.
I ended up getting very sick in the hospital for 11 days, intravenous cortisone, which ended up disintegrating the tops of both of my shoulder bones. Had a little bit of surgery then, went on 30 years later, and my left arm stopped working. So I had to end up having a shoulder replacement. And I'll tell you, I had this shoulder replacement 4 months ago, and it's been fabulous. What I realized about 20 years ago, it still took me 10 years after the disease, that I could change what was happening to my body by putting much better nutrition into my body and by taking care of myself. So what I started to do was add in natural products that really goosed up the food that I was eating, added those in on a regular basis. And over the course of time, a lot of really cool things happened. I'd had breast lumps for 20 years. I'd had 3 biopsies, one with the atypical cells. When I started adding in these wonderful foods, they went away. And I've never gotten them since. Atypical cells means I was headed towards that C word.
Right.
And that's scary.
Yes.
So, later on, other things happened. But I kept adding in more and more nutrition so that things were going well. And I also practically force-fed them to my kids and my grandkids, because I'm a grandma who wants to take care of her family. And so that's something that's really important to me.
Absolutely.
When I found out I was going to have the surgery, I decided that the best thing I could do would be to really flood my body with nutrients. And so that's what I did. Over several months before the surgery, and then through the 4 months since then, my doctor is blown away. Now, the trick for all the people that have been trying to do the math is that I'm 72 years old. And people at 72 don't heal like I have. I mean, there are a lot of people that I've seen in physical therapy who have had joint replacements who are just not doing that well. They're still in pain. I feel like I've got a shoulder that I had when I was 20.
Fantastic.
No problems at all, no pain, no limitation. It's really been awesome.
What timeline would he have expected that to take under normal circumstances? Of somebody of your age?
Somebody, might still have some pain lingering at 6 months.
Wow.
So,
and then within 4 months.
And my pain was gone within 2 months.
Wow. Fantastic.
So I've been very pleased with all of that.
Right.
At the same time, I really wanted my kids and my grandkids and my husband to have the same nutrition that I was. So, You know, I've spent a lot of time talking with my boys and with my grandkids and bringing nutrition to them as well. And each one of them has had some really exciting things happen to them.
And maybe tell us a little bit about that, because I know you're big about educating people, but obviously the products that you take and you're giving to your family now obviously has made the difference of night to day. So tell us some of those stories.
So my son Jeffrey is 46 right now. He tore his ACL. It was a couple of years ago. It was when I had first discovered some of the additional products that I've recently brought into my business. He tore his ACL. He had a month of being able to do nothing, and then he had the surgery, and I was really, again, you know, pumping him with nutrition. And at 2 months, he was able to lift weights that he'd lift when he was in high school. And again, his doctor said, "Oh, really?" So that's pretty exciting.
That's incredible, yes.
Now, down the road, the same son he had been a football player in high school, and you know, and then went on to get an office job, and you know, some of the problems, and ate a lot of fast food, things like that. So what happened with him was he found out his cholesterol was really high. There's a measure where you have a ratio between your high and your good and bad cholesterol. Mm-hmm. And your ratio is supposed to be 5 or under. And for him, it was 13. And I was afraid my son was going to die before me.
Right.
I mean, that's a horrible thought.
Yeah.
Horrible thought. So he really, you know, upped the nutrition again, upped the nutrition over the course of a year. When he went back, and didn't make any other changes, when he went back at the end of that year, his ratio was 4. 13 to 4.
Fantastic.
4 is solidly normal. And by doing that, you know, he's extended his life. He's extended the time he can be with his kids. All of that.
Tell us a story about, you told me, you shared with me the little girl who wasn't growing.
Okay.
I think that's a fascinating one.
Right. So that's my granddaughter. And although her dad had tried really hard to different son, tried really hard to feed her good organic food, she had a palate that she just was a picky eater.
Right. Pretty normal.
A lot of kids like that. Yes, right. So she would rather have the rice than the broccoli. And she was not growing. So she's been short all her life. She was at the 3rd percentile, 3 out of 100, in terms of height. And she, over the course of 2 years, dropped down to below the bottom of the table. So she and I had a little talk, and I suggested that she could go with the weekly shots from her doctor, which I figured no child would take. And then, you know, we talked about the shakes that her dad could make. The problem was the doctor had said she was going to be 4'10" as an adult. 4'10" is very tiny.
Right.
Means you have to buy your clothes in the kids department for the rest of your life.
Right.
Really? And you're not going to see any parades either.
Right. Yeah.
So she started drinking the shakes. And in the first year then, she grew 3 inches. And she just got a report from her second year, and she's grown 3 more inches.
That's incredible.
She's actually grew more than her brother did.
Right.
Which he's 10, she's 12 now. She's a gymnast. She'll probably always be small, but the goal is not to stay miniature.
Right, absolutely, yeah. So talk to us about some nutrition and why you think people are not doing it as much as they should be doing. And maybe it's lack of knowledge or awareness of what they can be doing, but talk to us about that.
There's a lot of misinformation that comes through in advertising, on the television. I mean, we're told that if we're hungry, we should eat a Snickers.
Right.
We're told that if things aren't going well, we should get a Red Bull. And if we're, you know, if we've got a headache, we should take an aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, we're not born with too few organs and a lack of, with too many organs and a lack of antibiotics, which is kind of the way we're treated. Oh, just take out this, just take this meds. So people don't understand what nutrition is. Somebody told me once, if it says food in front of the store, isn't everything they sell in there okay for me to eat? No.
Yeah.
So food is really important, but we've been misled. Somehow, between when I was a girl and now, the manufacturers have decided that they need to put artificial colors in all the cereals, that everything needs to be bright blue and bright red, and it's just why they figured out that that's the only way kids are going to eat things. It's a shame.
Well, it comes back to, and I know this is one of the points I'd love to get to with you, it's speed and ease.
Yes.
So how can people get the level of nutrition they need in very little time? Now, at the beginning you mentioned about 90 seconds. Talk to us about that.
So I've discovered some shakes that are organic, non-GMO, no fillers, no additives, just pure food, and enzymatically active, vegan, I mean, all the buzzwords, with enough protein that's absorbable, with all the things your body's looking for, that taste delicious. And you can go ahead, get your own shaker cup, keep them in your drawer, shake them up, and in 90 seconds you've got something to drink.
Right.
This works for the new mom who's got a little baby that's over there crying, and she's thinking, I need to take care of the baby instead of me. It works for the person who's in an office where they have to work all day and there's a deadline coming and the boss is upset and pacing maybe. And, you know, instead of going out to lunch, which is probably not going to be that feeding your soul, I mean, you know, you pull out a bottle of your shake and you mix it up with some water and you have your lunch and you have given your body the nutrition that it needs and you don't have to worry about it.
Right. I mean, how more simplistic can you get with that?
Right.
Because a lot of people, I think, assume, oh, I've got to buy all these fresh fruits and vegetables, and then they go off before I get to cook them, or I don't have time to cook at home or at lunch. So
Right.
this is an ideal solution,
Right.
where they can get
Right.
so many nutrients and in so little time, and so easy.
Yes.
Yes.
When I go traveling, it's, you know, the food in the airport, you know, makes the rest of the food look good.
Right.
So your choices are very limited.
Yes.
I take my shake mix, I put it into little baggies. When I go through security, I buy a big bottle of water, and I've got my shaker cup.
Right.
And there I am at my seat in the airplane, shaking up my shaker cup and drinking it down, and I know I have not wasted my body.
Right. Well, yeah, absolutely. And some of the stories you told us, you know, drugs can't do that.
Right.
The power that nutrition can do. And I know you've got a great quote, which I'd love you to read out.
Yes.
Because
okay.
it's incredible. So if you'd like to read
Okay.
that, because this is
Yes.
something people need to hear and really hear.
So this is from Anne Wigmore. The food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison.
See, that is something to think about, isn't it?
Yes.
And it is so true, and I think it's so true the further on we're going, because we're getting so advanced, which means more and more chemicals are being put in our food supply.
Right.
So people do need to step up and listen perhaps to their body, or if their body's not talking to them, they need to take action about it.
And the foods are so addictive.
Yes.
Sugar. People crave sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And when people have a whole lot of sugar over a period of time, what happens is your taste buds actually change. Have you ever seen an ad where you take Coke and you pour it over the battery terminal of your car and it fizzes and all the crud that was there goes away? Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's all
I know
Coke's
it cleans
good
coins,
for.
but you know, yes, it's
right.
not something you want in your body, absolutely.
Right. Well, that's getting rid of corrosion. When you go on a diet that has healthy green foods, that eliminates the the additives, preservatives, all of those things, what happens is your taste buds lose their corrosion, so that your taste buds then appreciate the healthier foods and don't crave the sugars.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing. When I started with some of these things, I actually went on a 10-day program where I ate only no processed, everything clean foods. And at the end of that, well, I'll tell you at the start of that, I still had some cravings for chocolate. I mean, chocolate's my thing.
Right. Mine too.
Some people go for salt.
But good quality.
Some for good quality,
Yes.
right. But by the end of that, I had much more control over it.
Right.
So really what I see, good nutrition allows my body to make decisions that are good for it. Every day we make billions and billions of cells. And those cells we make today are made with what we ate today.
Right.
So if what we ate today was Diet Coke and donuts, those are the building blocks that build the cells today. And if we do that, you know, for 10 days, you know, boy, and then we wonder why our body's not working.
Absolutely. Well, they say if you want to feel alive, eat food that's been alive, rather than just never, just dead.
In 120 days, we replace all of our red blood cells. So 10 days, I mean, you're talking about 10% of your red blood cells are going to be less than perfect if all you eat is garbage.
Right.
And what if you go out for hamburgers and French fries every single day?
Which a lot of people do.
Which a lot of people do.
Yes.
And then we talk about our bodies, you know, these things, you know, your meat, your white potatoes, your white flour, your white sugar, they all make your body more acidic.
Right.
So if your body is acidic, it's not functioning as well. I mean, it's a long, complicated story, but all you need to know is that you need to balance off what's happening with your, you know, bringing in your fruits and vegetables, because they're going to bring in the minerals, and they're, you know, so they bring in the minerals, and then when you digest your you know, your meats, for example, or your sugar, you use minerals.
Right.
And if you think about it, think about a checking account and a savings account. You've got a mineral savings account and a mineral checking account. Your mineral checking account is all the minerals you eat today and all the minerals that are used to digest everything. And if you're ahead, just like your checking account, if you're ahead, then that's great. If you fall behind, you have to take the minerals out of your mineral savings account. Do you know what your mineral savings account is?
No, I don't. I'm thinking it's quite good actually right now.
It's bones.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Your bones.
Right.
You take it out of your bones.
And that's absolutely true, and people don't understand that they're doing that.
So if you eat things that cause your body to be acidic on a regular basis, you cause your bones to be eaten up in order to balance the whole thing in your body.
Yes.
And this is where osteoporosis comes from.
Right, absolutely. And that brings me to my point about nutrition, really. If people start it young enough, can be their own sort of health insurance.
Oh, totally.
And I know not only that, and I know you believe heavily in that, but you're thinking about creating, or you have an idea of creating this sort of health insurance plan for people. I don't know if you want to talk to that.
Sure. I mean, we all start out, you know, we know now that in order to have enough money to retire, we need to have a 401k plan. Take a little bit of money each month and put it aside. And interestingly enough, there's some statistics that if you put away money from age 20 to age 30, you actually have more money at 65 than if you put away from 30 to 65.
Right.
So, you know, these things are, you know, and these things are all cumulative. Your health is the same way. It makes me so happy to see my grandkids eating healthy. I mean, I didn't really stop and think about nutrition until I was in my 40s. And, you know, so here they have, I can only imagine what their bodies are going to be like with good nutrition from the beginning.
Yes.
What an incredible concept.
Absolutely.
So this so I talk about having a health 401k. And the idea is that most people spend half of all the money that they spend on health in their last year of their life. and it doesn't do a whole lot of good then.
Right.
If you take your money and you spread it out, just like your savings, you spend a little money each month on additives, on
The supplemental,
shakes
right.
and good supplements, things like that, and really make a difference. Maybe it would even be a gym membership.
Right.
And do those each year. That's your health IRA. And when you get to retirement, you'll actually not only have money, you'll actually have a body that can enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, what a shame that so many people, don't have enough energy by the time they're 65.
Absolutely, yes.
So, to be able to enjoy it.
Yes. Well, obviously, I know we could sit and talk about this topic for hours, let alone days, I think, actually. But if people want to get in touch with you and find out how they can get hold of these products, how would they do that?
I have a website. It's called transformyourhealth.today. Instead of the .com, it's .today. And they can go to my website. There are all kinds of interesting articles that I have and little videos that can be really helpful. Or you can phone me. My phone number is 703-405-7969. And I will welcome your calls and will help you set up a personal plan just for you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. What a pleasure. It's just everybody needs to take their own action to ensure their health in some way, shape or form so they can enjoy a fuller, longer life.
Yes,
So thank
totally.
you. Yeah, so thank
Totally.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to be a show on Connect Live, then please go to connexionhub.biz.